welcome to the Alexa Show. I am Alexa Servo-Didio, your host, and I'm so excited to be here tonight. Tonight is the special episode of Ask Alexa. This is the episode where I take the whole time answering questions from you, the viewers. Please send all questions to info@askalexatherapy.com, and all names will remain anonymous. Let's start with our first question. Dear Ask Alexa, I recently lost 67 pounds and people are starting to notice. However, I still see myself big. How do I get my mind, my heart, and my body to match? This is such a tough question and such a really common question. And I'm so happy you brought this up. I can understand the struggle that you're going through. And really, you're not alone. So many people go through this same struggle. And I think this topic is not discussed enough. So many times, yes, we lose the physical weight. We look at ourselves and people notice and say, wow, you look great. You've lost the 67 pounds. But we still haven't done the work on the inside, on the emotional side, on the mind side, and on your mindset to get used to the weight loss. Just because the physical weight has gone off, you've lost, the mental, the emotional weight that you've been carrying for how many years or months that you've had this extra weight on has not just disappeared from healthy eating and exercise. That really needs work too. And again, through a lot of my shows, I always speak about making sure you're feeding yourself literally, emotionally, mentally, verbally, physically, and also spiritually. And this is where this really comes in. You really have to explore, reflect, address, and go over what that extra weight you've been carrying has had an impact on you. How has it impacted your lifestyle? How has it impacted your personal life, your social life, your romantic life, and also your work life? Because so many times when we carry extra weight around, we don't feel good about ourselves. We look at the mirror and we are disgusted. We look in the mirror and we don't like what we see. So it takes a long time for, even though you've lost that physical weight, to look in the mirror and start telling your mind, yes, you've lost the physical weight, but now we are going to work on the emotional weight. So I would recommend writing down a list of your feelings, a lot of your thoughts, your negative thought patterns, how you spoke to yourself throughout the years when you felt you had the extra weight on. What were those negative cognitions you would say to yourself? How would you speak to yourself? And how would you allow others to speak to you? Because so many times when we are carrying some extra weight around, some people, even when they have the best intentions, can make certain comments, can give sort of constructive criticism that they think is helpful, but it really hurts our feelings. And I think it really also working on your sense of self. Now that you've lost this weight, we really have to start defining who you are as this person who's lost the 67 pounds. But also we have to work on emotionally, who are you as this person? How do you see yourself? How do you feel about yourself? But also work on those issues that you had when you were heavier. The negative cognitions, maybe the sadness, the guilt, the shame, the negativity, the way you spoke about yourself to others or to yourself, and start retraining the brain to think more of positive thoughts, to make sure you're speaking in a positive way to yourself, and find closure between the gap of the negativity and the negative sense of self to now building and also maintaining and defining your healthier sense of self. So I know so many times we think the battle is over, we've lost the 67 pounds, or we're in a smaller size, but then we come to find we still have some mental and emotional work to work on. So don't be discouraged. If you feel that you can't do this on your own, I would recommend seeing a therapist, seeing a life coach, and really exploring how you're feeling emotionally and how moving forward you can start healing. Also, I would also want you to explore, were there any issues with eating, any ideas or signs of an eating disorder? Because so many times when there is excess weight or fast weight loss or poor body image, we want to look into eating habits, but also if there's any criteria for an eating disorder. And if you find that there might be something to do with an eating disorder, or there might be some criteria, or a professional has noted some of that, don't be discouraged. I would really do the work. You've done the physical work. Now, really do the emotional work. Have that roadmap emotionally, how you're going to handle all the twists and turns. As you did healthy eating and exercise, now it's going to be healthy thinking and healthy emotional exercise for your brain, but also for your emotions. I would also recommend talk therapy and also EMDR, eye movement desensitization reprocessing, which will help reprocess a lot of those negative cognitions, those stuck thoughts, and any impulses. And so many times when people have lost large amounts of weight, there's also a concern, or almost sometimes an over obsessive thinking of, I don't want to gain weight back. I don't want to gain weight back. So, yes, you are feeling skinnier, you are looking skinnier, but you're still concerned about what you're eating and gaining weight. So, I'd also want you to work on how you can look forward and have a healthy relationship with food, and not always be judging yourself and be guilting and be counting calories. Yes, it's healthy to some degree to watch what you eat, to stay on that healthy eating track, but I want to make sure it does not overtake your life, that you don't become consumed by it, because that's when it becomes an issue. That's when it becomes more than, okay, I'm just watching my weight and being healthy. So, again, thank you so much for writing this question in. And I think it's so important, such an incredible question for so many women and also for so many men that they struggle with day to day. So, again, thank you for writing in. Let's go on to our second question. Dear Ask Alexa Therapy, I'm in my mid 70s and I find I'm not able to do all the things I used to do. My adult children want to help me out. They want to drive me around. They want to do all my shopping for me. But I'm not ready to give up my independence yet. What should I do? This is really a powerful question, and I think really hits on the different stages everyone goes through in life. And it sounds like you are going through that stage of going into the older age, going into the ages of retirement, of going into that stage of being able to say, okay, what am I capable of doing? And what are some limitations I have? And that is a very hard stage. Yes, as they say, the golden years are the ones where people enjoy the most, but it also can be very tough. So, what you're going through is very common. And I see it so many times in my practice. So, I think it's important to be able to sit down with your adult children and really discuss how you're feeling, because it seems like your adult children want to help out. They want to make life easier for you. And you're also seeing it, it sounds like, as a way of stripping away your independence, even though this is not what maybe your children are trying to do or even thinking about doing. It's the way you're feeling about it. And that's what's important. We can't magically change how we feel. We can't stop how we feel. So I think it's really about sitting with it, acknowledging it, exploring it, and then addressing it first with yourself and then with your children. I would also recommend maybe writing down a checklist of things that you really enjoy doing, things that are important for you, and things that you feel, I'm having some limitations, either physically or emotionally. And I think also really being realistic about what you can still do. And I know this is a tough discussion to have with yourself, but also with family members, especially when we all get to that age and that point in our life where we can't do what we normally can do. And I think for others that are watching that maybe are going through this bracket in life, it's always at a time if someone's had an injury, a back injury, a knee injury. And when you get out of surgery or when you're healed, you don't have the same strength anymore. You don't have the same range of motion. You have to build it up. And sometimes it doesn't even go back to the way it was. So it's important, yes, you can grieve that of what it once was, and really sit with it and say, yes, it's upsetting, it's a turning point in my life. But then it's really looking at, where can we go from here? What's next? And really look at the positive side. And I think really discussing this with your children too, but also sitting down with your primary care physician and asking them what they think. What is the usual limitations and activities someone in their mid 70s can do and can't do, and really be realistic. Because again, we don't want to have injury. And I understand independence is very, very important. And it's a passion, and it's what makes us all feel like we have a purpose in life. But I really want to make sure you don't do things just to prove something to yourself and then judge yourself. And also, there's a chance of injury. So I really want to make sure you really get all the facts medically, educate yourself on them, and really then sit down with yourself and be realistic about what the next steps are and what you like for this next chapter of your life to look like and what you'd really enjoy to do. And then bring your family involved and sit them down with it and really have this open discussion on what you can all do as a family to also have your children feel that you're safe, but also to know that they're really looking out for you and they really love you and care for you. So almost giving them the permission that they can take a step back and that you will let them know, okay, these are limitations that I have. These are things I can't do. And this is how I know I have limitations. And this is how you know I have limitations. And let's have an open dialogue about it. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be tough. There might be some challenges. There might be some challenges to agreeing on something. But to know that you're all on the same page, that you're a family and you want what's best for your children, and you also want what's best for you. So please keep writing in your questions and keep us posted on how you are doing in this next chapter of your life, because it's so, so important. And I find so many times it's not discussed. Almost people in certain generations feel that they shouldn't be talking about it. It's a secret, or you shouldn't air your business. But this is something that everybody at one point in their life goes through. So it's really important that you share your journey with your family, with yourself, and also with us, the community. And again, thank you for writing in. And this really leads me into our next question. Dear Ask Alexa Therapy, as I get older, I find myself reflecting on my life, my goals, my family, my dreams, and I catch myself feeling sad and sentimental about things I've accomplished and things I haven't. Is this normal? Absolutely. And as I just answered the last question, it's really important to know as we all go through different stages of our life, it is normal to sit back and reflect, to find out what have we done? What are we happy with of how far we've come? What are things we might have done differently? And that's okay. But I want to make sure you're not using it as a way to speak harshly to yourself, to judge yourself, or to shame yourself, because that really is not the right thing to do. And it's really not going to get you anywhere. I think it's important about, yes, we like to reflect and be honest with ourselves. What would we have done differently? And what can we do now moving forward to make some adjustments? But I also want you to make sure you're not only stuck in what you didn't accomplishment or the tough spots of your life. I want you to really also look and really sit with all the incredible things you've done. And also know we've done what we've had to do throughout our lives with what we know and what we have. We're only human. Sometimes when we look back at things, we say, oh, I could have done this, or I should have done it this better. Why didn't I know? That's always, afterwards. And that's okay sometimes to do that. But make sure you don't catch yourself being stuck in that and judging every little thing you do and picking it apart, because that really is not helpful and also can be very damaging and very hurtful to your sense of self, and also prevent you from moving forward, but also prevent you from really celebrating everything you've accomplished. As we all know, life isn't hard. Life isn't easy. Life is hard. It's a struggle. We all go through struggles. And sometimes some people make it look a lot easier than others, but that doesn't mean we're all not struggling. So please don't judge yourself on what you feel like you've done or haven't done, but also sit with it and be honest and look yourself in the mirror and know you did the best you could with what you have. We're all here on this earth trying to find our purpose, trying to find our passion. And no matter what age we're at, it's never too late to accomplish our dreams. It's never too late to reconnect with an old family member, to go after that dream job, to find the love of your life. So don't limit yourself to say, okay, I'm at this age, there's really not much more I can do. Know that you have so much time left and there's so much you can do in a little amount of time and in a lot of amount of time. And to keep that excitement up, to keep your passion up, and know that other people are going through the same thing that you're going through. And I think during COVID, this really hit a lot of people really hard because maybe in life before COVID, everyone had these other distractions. They had jobs, they had other family members, they had places to go. But COVID became a real time and place where everybody in this world was forced to have that time with themselves and really sit with what was in front of their face, what was maybe back here that they've been avoiding for so many years, or things they were frightened of, things, who would want to face. Again, thank you so much for writing your question in. And please keep sending in all your questions to info@askalexatherapy.com. As you look back on your life, look at all the accomplishments and celebrate everything that you've been through, the good, the bad, the tough, and the sad, and know that you've done the best you can. So again, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for sending in all your questions. Remember, send all your questions to info@askalexatherapy.com. And please check out my website, Ask Alexa Therapy, and also check us out on YouTube at Ask Alexa Therapy. Everybody, have a good night and God bless.